Welcome, guys. Welcome back. Vaya, señoras y señores. Welcome. Bienvenidos. We're back. It's me, your host, Hebot, with another exciting episode of Toys in My Closet. Hopefully, at least. I'm your action figure enthusiast and video game aficionado, and I'm so grateful to be able to have you guys revisit and join me in the fun. This is going to be part 3 of my picks of figures that I want to see from the DC universe be created and realized into the Mcfarlane Toys 7-inch scale DC multiverse line that he's currently has possession of, right? As we see here, we have the Joker Who Laughs and the Batgirl, which I think he did a fantastic job with both of these figures and pieces. So, again, these are just my picks. The figures you're going to see here, like the other first two videos, are from my actual personal collection from DC Universe Classics from Mattel, because they went pretty far and pretty extensively. Really quick, a disclosure, like I said before, everything that you see on all of my videos, with the exception of certain things here and there, are all funded and paid for by me out of my pocket. I do not get endorsed. I do not get prototypes to review up front. I don't have a super chat. I don't have a big subscriber base. I don't have enough subscribers to even make money off of YouTube. I don't make any money. This is clearly from my own personal collection or whatever I buy myself, purely for the love of collecting. I've been collecting 27 years now, and this is not something new to me. So anything I do as far as reviews or what I show, there's no bias involved. There's no self gain. No, it's just straight up from my heart, my love for the figure collecting scene, and for basically pure entertainment value and satisfaction to myself, because I love doing this. So I hope you guys believe me. I hope I'm transparent enough, because I'm trying to be, because I'm not an opportunist. I'm not fake. I'm not a fraud. I don't like to compare myself to anybody else, and for that same reason. And I don't like that, the way certain things are done with certain people in the figure scene. But we are all different, and we do what works for us, right? So with that being said, let's move right along into the first figure, and this will be a set of figures of 14, because I was supposed to do actually 12, and I made a mistake saying it was 11 in my last previous video, and it ended up being 10. I miscounted, so for that I apologize. So here we go with my number 14. My number 14 is none other than Wildcat, the athletic boxer from, I believe, the Batman comic books, and I think he was in the animated series The Brave and the Bold. I definitely know he was in the Brave and the Bold video game that was exclusive to the Wii and the DS. But he's a very simple character, but I think with a little bit of the Mcfarlane touch and glitter here and there to make him a little bit more menacing and not so kid-friendly, I guess is what I'm saying. Even though this is a super nice figure, as simplistic as it is, I think Mcfarlane would do a fantastic job. And he is only the only figure that you can find of him is this one here by Mattel. So it'd be very nice to see Wildcat. And here we have my number 13, none other than Johnny Quick, a figure that I'm pretty sure a lot of people may not know much about, like I did myself, which I didn't. Just true story. I know he has a connection here with Giant Girl. As you see, there's a mini figure that comes with him. This was from, I think, DC Direct. I'm not really sure. I forgot which one it was. It is a fully articulated figure. It is a really nice figure. As you can see, it has beautiful painted red, apple red paint, or like kind of metallic red. I think the only thing that the joints were very delicate, so one of the hand wrists broke on me right out of packaging. So, you know, again, I think it would be a really nice vision to see what Mcfarlane would do with him, especially with his very different style, an obscure look, very reminiscent to Flash, but, you know, also very futuristic, but with an older look, like from the 60s and 40s. So Johnny Quick is my number 13. And coming in at my number 12, we have none other than Spoiler. Female characters, I don't know why people don't really like to collect them. I mean, I can understand why younger kids do, but I think female characters are pretty cool and badassery in most cases. You see this Batgirl right here, and also Spoiler lends herself tremendously, really well to, you know, super bad asserism, for lack of a better word, because that's not really a word, you know. But she looks great with her black and purple motif and contrast, you know, with the nice Goldilocks red, you know, golden hair. I think a Mcfarlane version of her would be super nice, and I think it would be amazing to see her in the aesthetic of Mcfarlane, with the you know, style and look of her figure and character. So Spoiler's my number, like I said, my number 12. And coming in at my number 11, we have Black Vulcan. And Black Vulcan, you know, for a DC Classics figure, it still holds up absolutely incredible. And, you know, it's really cool because Mr. Terrific also looks incredible. And there's a lot of awesome African American representation as far as superheroes that a lot of people don't even know exist, or that are out there, and that were part of the big three, you know, or the big twos, you know, being Marvel and being, you know, obviously DC in this case. Black Vulcan is just a dope aesthetically looking character, with the Boomerang style, you know, ears that he has in the helmet, the lightning coming straight down his chest, the lightning effects, you know, and he just looks really good. He looks pretty badasseria, if you ask me, and I think he would look really cool and lend himself really well into the Mcfarlane multiverse, with the new aesthetic and style of Mcfarlane toys, obviously. Black Vulcan, I think, is very underappreciated and underrated as far as look and being a superhero of, you know, other than what we commonly know. So my number 11 is Black Vulcan. And coming in at my number 10 is none other than Captain Cold. And Captain Cold, you know, let's keep in mind, DC Universe was before Marvel. He's not trying to copy something else from the Marvel Universe. But he did come after Mr. Freeze, which he is also part of the DC Universe. So a lot of people really don't know of the character, because when you think cold and ice characters in a DC world, the first thing that comes up is Mr. Freeze. And let's be honest, we've gotten plenty of Mr. Freeze characters through the years. We're getting a new one sometime soon from Mezco, the 1/12 collectible scale. But Miss Captain Cold only has, I believe, this one figure that is actual figure. I mean, there's probably been statues of him and stuff like that, but as you can see, he looks really cool. His colors really pop. He has a lot of cool contrast to him with the yellow Belco, and his futuristic gun that, you know, creates ice that freezes people. So I think Captain Cold, done in a more menacing, you know, kind of way and look, even though this Mattel figure holds up pretty nice, it's just a little short on scale, but I think he's a short character. I think Captain Cold would be really nice in the Mcfarlane line. So that is my number 10. And coming in at my number 9 is Magog. Magog is definitely a different and unique character that a lot of people really don't know about. He really came out later years in the comic book line. I believe it was in the 90s, I believe. He's supposedly was an ex-military soldier, so he has really intense fighting skills that complemented him once he acquired his powers, which have been a lot of different variations in storytelling about that and about him in the comic book. But he's a really cool character because he blends in very well as far as looking like a military soldier with these godlike armory on him, which is really cool. And this figure was no exceptions from Mattel. Really nicely done, really nicely executed. My only gripe with the figure was that it had single joints on some areas. But again, this was a time where, you know, super highly articulated figures wasn't really a thing. It was more about the sculpting. But with the highly articulations, you know, Mattel realized that, you know, it just gave room for better posability and display for a lot of collectors. And the fact that his gun and his holster that you see there right in the front was pre-sculpted in, it cannot remove it. That also sucked. But, you know, again, it is what it is. But Magog, I think, would be really dope and badass. He's a villain character, and he would fit in very well with the Mr. Mcfarlane, you know, psychotic style and aesthetic that he can bring to the table. So my number 9 is Magog. So coming in at my number 7 is a figure that probably a lot of you won't even recognize just by looking at his design. But he is basically Boomerang. He was the character that was played by the actor from that played the son of Bruce Willis in one of the later Die Hard movies. I forget the actor's name, but it was the guy with the kind of sheepskin jacket in the Suicide Squad movie with Will Smith and Margot Robbie. But this is the comic book look and the comic book style. I think he's really cool looking. I think he has really nice aesthetics, the jacket and the boomerang kind of strap around his waist or his chest, plus the white scarf, the beanie. I think he would be really dope and pretty interesting figure to see in the Mcfarlane line with the Mcfarlane style, obviously. And also, there's not many figures of him out there as well. Mattel went real deep with this DC Collectibles line, and they did a lot of characters that were really never done before, or that really were so obscure that people didn't want to do or create or touch. So yeah, definitely I would like to see a new Boomerang. He's my number I believe I said 8, right? 8, yeah. Coming in at my number 7 is this green and gold, very majestic looking character, evil villainy. His name is Lord Naga, aka I believe it's Cobra with a K. He basically was changed names for Lord Naga because of, I think, rights of the name Cobra, probably because they used it in G.I. Joe back in that time. But this is another example of how deep and weird the Mattel Classics line went with DC characters. He's basically a master of serpents, which a lot of the figures and collections from back in the 80s, 70s, 60s had characters like this. You know, as we know, Serpentor with G.I. Joe, King Hiss with the Masters of the Universe. It's just one of those things that because they would interpret itself, I'm not going to say well, but it made sense that you can create weird characters based off certain animals back then. And today they even do it. It's just, I guess, not as outlandish in design the way that it was back when we were growing up, even though that's what made them really appealing and unique. Now they go more with a simplistic style and look, um, which, you know, it's kind of boring in my opinion. But yeah, I would like to see Lord Naga. I think McFarlane would do a really nice job. He is definitely my number 7. Coming in at my number 6 is this majestic looking character as well, with beautiful purples and gold. Again, gold and those really vibrant colors were something that was very common back in the day with comic book characters, but it made them fun. It made them stand out. They made them pop. You know, because it was just really more interesting, more appealing to the eye, I think, as opposed to these more monotone colors. But I would like to see a more realistic take on him, even though this figure really holds up extremely well. The golds and the paints on this figure are fantastic. It has a translucent middle chest piece, translucent pieces on his crown and the back of his neck, and on his wings on his biceps, which are part of his arms. Golden Pharaoh is this character, and he is part of the Super Friends from back in the day, and they did have a Super Friends version of him. He was updated by Mattel, and he never been updated ever since. But Mattel did an exquisite job when they released him. He still holds up really well, and he's a really nice piece to showcase on your shelf and collection. He's obviously it's an Egyptian type character, and I think McFarlane would do a fantastic job with reintroducing him in the McFarlane aesthetic and style. So my number 6 is Golden Pharaoh. So coming in at my number 5, as you see, is the Martian Hunter. Basically, he's the vision of the DC universe, and this guy just looks incredible. He's so much fun with the really bright, vibrant green, kind of like a neon green almost, but also with that Hulk style look of green, with the nice blue cape, blue belt, blue trousers, and blue boots, with the harness in obviously a nice red, with the chain and the neck collar, and his belt in red as well. Simple colors, a simple looking figure, but very amazing, powerful character. Very underused in the action figure world, and I think he definitely deserves a proper, more adult-like themed version of him in the DC multiverse from McFarlane. And I think McFarlane will probably get to him more than the other ones I probably picked, because he is one of the more important characters in the Justice League and the DC universe that never really gets representation. So I think it's going to be a no-brainer for him to do. So my number 5 is definitely the Martian Manhunter. And coming in at my number 4, one of my favorite characters is none other than Ocean Master. And this was part of the Signature Series line, which is way later, at the end of the tail end of the DC Universe Classics from Mattel. This was actually part of the subscription base, so you could only get him, gotten your hands on him if you subscribe to this to the subscription base through Matty Collector. And this is obviously, as you guys know, I believe the brother of Aquaman, based on the story, but we only got in a version of the movie one, which looked nice as far as the body, but the face was really bad. This, on the other hand, is what he truly looks like in the comic books, and to see a more modernized take and rendition of his comic book look in the McFarlane aesthetics, I think would be quite amazing. And I would love to see it personally, because he's one of my favorite characters. So my number 4 is Ocean Master. And here's my number 3, none other than Deadshot. Comic book version, obviously. And Deadshot is not to be confused with Deathstroke. He is a very, very dope assassin character from the Batman universe that really doesn't get a lot of representation, even though we've had him in other formats like in the game and in some of the real life special movies that they have, like I think it was a WB show or whatever, or one of the animations. He was in one of the Batman Legends, which the style and look for him used this same aesthetic and look, but they modernized him and he looked incredible. And this figure still holds up really well. The problem was that the figure brought no accessories. It just had molded guns on his wrist, and his two batons on the side were non-removable. You couldn't really take them off and use them. As you see, they're sculpted. And I guess it was because he had so much deco and color. He uses a lot of nice silver metallically look paint, which still looks incredible to this point. You can see the shininess obviously still right there, even in the camera. But I would like to see the Batman Legends interpretation and modernized look and take done by Mcfarlane. He looks super badasseria in the movie, in that animated movie. So my number 3 is definitely Deadshot. Here is my number 2, none other than the Blue Devil, one of the characters that was actually introduced in the newly created Swamp Thing TV show. They never got deeper with the character as far as what he looked like, but this is his accurate comic book look. I would love to see a modern take on him, big time, making him more menacing looking, more demon-like looking or evil looking, which we all know Mcfarlane can definitely accomplish with his sculptors and with his creativity and his mind and style and aesthetics. And Blue Devil is just, like I said, a character that it never really had a lot of representation in any toy line for DC, with the exception of maybe some statues and here and there. This is an actual action figure for toy collectors or adult collectibles. So I think Blue Devil is a really good candidate because Mcfarlane knows how to tackle these really more demonic style characters or demon like style or evil creature like style characters, and he knows how to make them look really good in a more realistic fashion, like he did here with the Batman Who Laughs. So my number 2 is the Blue Devil, and this figure, don't get me wrong, he holds up still very well. And coming in at my number 1, I mean, just look at him. He's beautiful. None other than Firestorm. This Firestorm figure, till this day, looks absolutely stunning. The reds, the yellow, his hairpiece that is translucent, that looks like fire. This character just evokes like what superheroes are supposed to be, the whole definition of a superhero, as far as looks, uniqueness, creativity, looking cool as heck, and pure just badassery. This figure still holds up very, very well. Firestorm is one that was also revisited in the Icons, DC Icons, which was also a really strong figure, and I own that figure as well. But he was just small in scale, and there were certain things that I didn't like with the design that they did, but because they made him look kind of, his bottom half from his waist down looked too feminine, as opposed to looking more muscular and just more well proportioned all around. And he just looks super amazing. This is a figure that I can't wait to see Mcfarlane do, and I hope he gets to him and that he gets extension in the DC line, because his figure I think would be one of the best. It would be really good in the Mcfarlane style and aesthetics. So Firestorm is my number one. Alright guys, there you have it. These are my 14 picks for video number 3 of the DC Universe Classics figures that I would love to see be brought to the Mcfarlane 7-inch DC Multiverse Mcfarlane toy line. And you know, as always, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that you guys really you know, give me some feedback and tell me what you think, because it's always a lot of fun to hear what you guys get to think, like, you know, have to say, because without you, this channel wouldn't really mean anything. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Let me know if you guys like my list, agree with my list, or don't really like it. And this will be the final one, the last part. I will not be doing anymore because you know, there's just so many characters. These are just my own personal picks, you know. And like always, leave a thumbs up if you like the video, leave a thumbs down if you didn't like the video, and also share it with someone you think might like it. Also, if you are new to my channel, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Really appreciate you showing your face. And if you subscribe, it means the world to me. I really appreciate it, because I know you don't have to, but if you did, just remember, I consider you now part of my family. If you guys ever in any way, shape, or form want to help me out in any way to further improve my channel with content, or just better quality and better anything, you know, just style and making better videos, you know, better quality videos, just, you know that you can. I have a Patreon. I have my PayPal information down below, and you know, you guys can always do it that way. Remember, only if you want to, from the kindness of your heart. It's not a mandatory thing. And last but not least, if you guys want to follow me on social media, I am on Twitter under Hebot Powerful Gamer, and I'm also on Instagram under C_respect. I will be doing a Hebot Facebook page instead of using my personal page. So as soon as I do, I will let you guys know, so that you guys can follow me on Facebook too if you choose to. So guys, it's been an absolute pleasure and fun doing this third part and final part of this pick collection video for DC Universe Multiverse Mcfarlane toy line. Until the next one, see you then guys. Keep collecting, have a lot of fun, be safe. I hope this gives you some type of freedom and some type of escape in these trying times. Love you very much, and thank you for your continued support. I'll see you very soon. Hebot signing off.